Hello, I'm Toycat, and good news everybody, 3 brand new Minecraft updates came out today, which sounds like a shocking number, but one of these was the Java Snapshot, finally bringing the happy ghast, and another was the Bedrock beta and preview, but what's interesting is both of these updates came out on the same day, but actually contain entirely different features. It's exciting that the Java version finally got the happy ghast, but it actually behaves quite a bit differently to its Bedrock counterpart, and then the Bedrock version has its own set of features, and then there is a third update. Let's talk about all of those updates, and of course the big issue of parity in today's update news video. And of course you can subscribe though if you want to see more of these videos on your homepage, but let's start by explaining what parity is, because this is the big topic for this video, and I think the idea that the 2 major versions of Minecraft should behave the same is something that is obvious to anyone and has been obvious to Mojang for a very long time, and so parity between Minecraft, Bedrock and Java is something they've mostly gotten on top of it since the Never update, except when it comes to update names, April Fools and menus, where they basically said that they can stay apart if they want to. But interestingly, this parity issue for the rest of the game has come back with a vengeance in the drop system, with a lot of notable examples, and that leads us into the summer drop, for which we have this brand new preview for Bedrock, and of course this new snapshot for Java, and let's show you exactly what's inside the latter of those, because this is new today, and it's a big deal for those who play Java, because if you use snapshots, you now have access to a brand new experiment for the locator bar. This is very exciting because you can locate other players in multiplayer. Not that I think people play as much of it over there, but if you do, that's great. But also, interestingly, Drop 2 2025 is inside of the base game. Now, notably, unlike on Bedrock, this isn't a toggle, implying that there is not going to be a Java update between now and 1.20, 1.6, and so the next update for Java will be the summer drop, and let's show you the main feature inside of it. That's right, it's the happy ghast. I do want to quickly draw attention to something I didn't really notice originally, but the happy ghast spawn egg is literally the ghast spawn egg, but with a tiny little smiling face. I think that's very cute. If you're in creative, you can obviously spawn one, just like this, and boy is it adorable, but also you can choose to find a dry ghast in the nether, or, as is very controversial, you can choose to craft one. Put some bone blocks in the middle, surround it by ghast tears, and now you can craft life, which is very, very fun in my opinion. But yeah, once you have the ability to craft life, wet it just a little bit, and eventually it will turn into a ghastling, and then use snowballs on that ghastling. By the way, when I first showed this up on Bedrock, I did not realize that snowballs are not just something that ages the baby ghast, or rather the happy ghast, but actually makes them love you and follow you too. So if there's no snowball in my hand, they'll slowly drift off. Snowball in my hand should bring him back. Hey, come over here. Look, I have your favorite food. I'll throw it at your face until you come down here and let me take. Anyway, here's something interesting that you probably didn't think to test, and I'll be honest, until I saw Crafty Marsman test it, I didn't think to test either, but here is me riding a happy ghast. As you can see, I'm happy, the ghast is happy, we're both having a great time here together. However, something you might not have thought to do is use it as a platform, but not just as a standing platform where you can walk around and presumably place blocks if you're nearby stuff, but also as a platform to place items on top of. Now here's something very strange. If you want to place items on top of this happy ghast, it works just fine. If you go too far above it, weirdly it does fall down, so if the ghast moves, so does it, but you can place items directly on top of it. The other question I had that I can't help but be curious about is what if you were to use the happy ghast not for items, but for mobs? And so I found myself a horse, I tamed myself a horse, I'm pretty sure. Are you tamed over here, buddy? No, this is not a tamed horse. But I figured, what if we try and take a horse, or indeed any other tameable mob, and put him on top of the happy ghast too? So here is me riding a horse, here's me desperately trying to attract the happy ghast's attention, and then maybe I'm gonna have to make a little pile up. Okay, so I'll be there in a minute. This is the worst jumping horse I could have used for this experiment. Come back. I'll spawn another one if you don't. Oh yeah, put the snowball in your hand, Toy Cat. That's the reason the happy ghast is flying away. It's because you don't have snowballs in your hand, Toy Cat. Yeah, you must feel real smart leaving those comments now, internet. And this is a reminder. The comment section does not know everything. Okay, so I'm going to bring the happy ghast over here, and I'm going to try and get my horse. I guess I can put this in my offhand, actually. There we go. Oh, no, as you can see, the happy ghast did not like that at all. But let's try this again from a better angle, maybe. Okay, here we are. I'm ready to try it. Can the horse... Oh, the horse can land on the happy ghast. So this is incredible, and obviously is only going to work until the happy ghast moves. I imagine, actually. But yeah, here's me. Oh no, yep, goodbye horse. Here's me showing that you can in fact have a stable platform, whereas on Bedrock, the same doesn't work. Okay, do you think I can land on the happy ghast without the saddle? I can. As long as he's not moving, I can jump on him. Anyway, so this interesting little feature of how the happy ghast is handled between platforms is not the only difference. Also, they added the player locator bar. It's a big potential feature for this update, and what's notable about that is the way you turn this on and off is by using game rule use locator bar true and false. This is different to the Bedrock command because seemingly, at least for a while now, there hasn't really been a focus towards parity between commands, maybe for a good reason, but it's annoying because there are all sorts of great commands on the Java version. I love the fill biome command. It came to Java a good couple of years ago now, but it's not coming to Bedrock, or at least they haven't said any public intentions, and there's something about that that's a bit of a bummer, but also as a reminder that the two updates have never really been perfectly in parity, but this one seems to be moving especially further apart. Will they fix the Bedrock ghast to be like the Java one? Will they make the Java one like the Bedrock one? This is maybe an interesting place for the community to test and to decide. Which one do you like better? Leave it in the comments down below so that if a Minecraft developer does watch this video, they'll know what the community think. But yeah, for now, let's go into the Bedrock beta. Oh, why did I die? Surely the horse should have died. Anyway, let's go into the Bedrock beta now. Okay, so I'm actually having issues getting the Bedrock preview right now, so allow me to take a few seconds here to show you one last fun thing from the Java snapshot. This is almost certainly a bug, but maybe it's intentional. At time of recording, 25W158, that's the newest snapshot name. If you go to look at any of the potions, they're all blue. This is the potion of luck, this is weakness, etc. And if we go to arrows, they're all exactly the same, besides spectral, and I just think that's fun. Do you think it's fun too? Or is this a sign that all arrows and all potions are going to be blue in the next update? We just don't know for sure right now. That's me putting the wildest speculation hat on I could do. It still doesn't mean anything. Anyway, I'm going to turn on my PlayStation, open up my Xbox, and hoping I get the preview there, because it's not on my PC or my PlayStation, so maybe it'll be on my Xbox. Okay, so while it's updating, can I just give you a little fun fact? So Minecraft Bedrock betas are called the version it's going to be a beta for, in this case 1.21.80, and then there's a point to represent the beta number. So these start at 20, I don't actually know why it starts at 20, but so the first beta for 1.21.80 was 1.21.80.20. The first beta for the next update, 1.22, will be 1.22.0.20, right? You follow that so far? And so what's interesting is usually these increment by 1 for every beta, but so far this update cycle has gone 1.21.80.20, 1.21.80.21, 1.21.80.22, and then it jumped to 0.25, and then it jumped again to 0.27, but what's weird is on my PlayStation I have 0.26. I'm assuming they had a PlayStation-only beta that has no changelog, and so I have a secret update on my PlayStation. Isn't that fun? In case that's not fun, I think we're almost done, so let's show you the Bedrock preview. I'm now here in the 121.80.27 beta and preview, and what's interesting is usually when a beta and a snapshot come out on the same day, they have the same features, but this one can't because the snapshot had features that came to Bedrock either a week ago or multiple weeks ago, and so what's inside of this? Well, it's a big changelog, but as you know, on this channel, I try to share the things that are actually interesting to me. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of changes that might not be too relevant to you, but if you play a long-term survival, you might appreciate at least one of these changes, but the first we should talk about is a change to Vibrant Visuals. So Vibrant Visuals is of course the brand new, for now, Bedrock only. It's coming to Java later, but you know, not soon future. But this is for now a Bedrock only feature, and they've changed it so there are now PBR textures on the chisel bookshelf. It was meant to have them before, but much more notably in my opinion is the kelp block. The kelp block is not just more potentially usable. As soon as I heard this change was made, I was like, I should build something out of kelp in my Let's Play world. Why have I not done that already? But also, so it's not just that it's a more obtainable resource, but also it looks far better. If you look at the chisel bookshelf now, it looks like a chisel bookshelf, but in VV, but the kelp block looks really, really great. Look at this texture, look at the way it reflects light, look at the way it changes as you get close. I love the change to this texture. The second change that I think is great is a change that Minecraft made without a bug fix or anything needing to be in the... They didn't make a bug report, they just said, yeah, we fixed an annoying issue that Minecraft has, which is that right now, if a firework has two uses. Let's be honest, for some people, it's a woo, block you put in the sky. But for 99% of players, particularly those on long-term survival worlds where you have an elytra, it's the way to fly around your world because it's the best movement device. However, an annoying thing is if you try to launch yourself, maybe downwards, you can't do it because previously the game would say, no, you just want to launch one of these into the sky, wasting valuable gunpowder and paper. Where this was most annoying is if you were in a hole, and I've been in a hole many times, let me tell you, and you're in the hole and you're trying to get out, but it's just launching the firework on the side like this. But now, as long as your elytra is out, you can get out, and although you do take a hit because you're obviously going to be launching towards the wall, this is fine on Bedrock, where elytra, kinetic and energy damage is far, far lower, and you love to see stuff like that. Speaking of things you love to see, here's an exciting change for, I presume, mostly resource and add-on pack makers. Minecraft have finally added the tools for custom biomes. So what is that? If we read this little section of the changelog right here, you'll notice something very interesting, which is that it mentions very clearly that yes, there is a brand new setting allowing for custom biomes. So it's actually not just a brand new setting, it's a brand new, a component which you can use to replace portions of vanilla biomes, and so that means we can finally create custom biomes in Minecraft. They did a very short experiment a few years ago, I was very enthused about, but it seems to have fizzled away, and now they're doing a brand new one, and I've said this for years. I think the two biggest things I would love to play around with in terms of like modifying Minecraft is the structures, you can probably tell that from this channel, but also the biomes, something else you can presumably tell from this channel, and what I think is really cool is that we'll be able to do that as a pack of some form, be that an add-on pack or a resource pack, I don't know for sure right now, but this is something I've been thinking about literally for weeks, like, how would I make new biomes in Minecraft? What new biomes would I make? And it looks like we might actually be able to make them in some form of way. So that's exciting to me, as, the add-on creator in me, I guess we could say. But what I also want to talk about is the fact that in this update, we have stained glass renders with correct colors. That is something that's fun. Colored lighting was basically only really possible with soul lanterns. Looks pretty good, but still, it's just a small little thing. And also, there is the /control scheme command, which is really, really cool because Minecraft has the camera command. So instead of me looking at myself like this, I could, theoretically move the camera somewhere else. It's what we use to make all of our shorts, if you're curious as to how we do those. But basically, they have the camera command. But right now, even when your camera is, say, right here, you move relative to the grid of the game. But now it sounds like you can change the control scheme and make it so it works just a little bit better. I'm going to have to play around with that one later. I'll let you know how it works, but I'm very excited with the idea of it. But yeah, for non-add-on creators or non-people who are interested in add-ons, which I wouldn't blame you if that was you, the new elytra thing is game-changing, and the dried kelp block has me inspired, and that's one of the cool things about these. But yeah, this is a very different Bedrock preview to the Java Snapshot, and I think this is kind of an inevitability of how things are right now. I don't think it is a bad thing even necessarily. I think it's actually great to have Java and Bedrock go down their different paths, and then later work out which one is better, and so that's why I'm curious about the player locator bar, which, by the way, might not be in the summer drop, because on Bedrock there is a summer drop toggle and a player locator toggle, but on Java there's no toggle for the summer drop, but the player locator bar is still behind it, so maybe the summer drop only has one announced feature so far. We'll come back into that later, but for now, let's talk about 1.21.72. It's a brand new update that just came out, and are you curious what's inside of it? Well, if you follow the Bedrock naming system, which we'll put on the big the chart for that on screen right now, pause this if you want to learn about betas and update names and what they mean, but long story short, because it's a 0.00 or 0.xx update, basically it means that it's just minor bug fixes, and in this case, it's minor crashes that could occur during gameplay, players' locations being massively rewound due to long server stalls. In other words, they fixed one of the big issues that caused rubber banding, and also C-pickles no longer replace blocks when being placed on a partial block. This is why people have been yelling for a while, if you want to break the roof of your nether, you had to do it now, and so if you don't have the update, you still theoretically can. But yeah, let's talk about the summer drop and kind of give a summary to what we've learned about it today. So to conclude this video, we got 3 updates today, but the only reason there was any real excitement in them is because of the lack of parity. I mean, the Java happy ghast being different to the Bedrock one still has me questioning now which method is preferred. Is it better to have a platform that breaks as you move it, or is it better to have a platform that never exists to begin with so you don't get trapped? Then we have the Bedrock beta and its exciting changes that are coming for the creator scene there. multiplayer, and then of course we have the Bedrock update and the hopefully end of some of the crazy rubber banding that we've seen. I'll obviously let you know if I experience that myself, but ultimately the thing that makes each of these updates interesting is that they're all updates that wouldn't have just made sense if you follow the one Minecraft vision of there always being the same features on all devices, and that is actually entirely fine. I think that parity is a noble goal for Minecraft, and if they keep saying that it is their #1 priority, then I think it's important we hold them to that, but I think it's actually better to say, look, all of the features that we show in the trailers, we'll try to make sure are in both versions, and broadly speaking, we'll make sure major game mechanics work the same, but outside of that, I think it's actually chill to say, yeah, Bedrock, you can have vibrant visuals, whereas Java, you can have April Fools. Bedrock, you can have an update name system that makes sense, and Java gets the version system which gets people confused about whether it's 1.21.5 or 1.25, and is that a perfect way to do things? I don't know, but I think it's worth finishing this video on a different question, which is what is next for the summer drop? Obviously, the reason all of these update pieces of information are exciting is because everyone wants to see brand new features in their Minecraft. We want to see the happy ghast in the vanilla game and not just in snapshots, and so, but what else are we going to see in that same update, I guess, is kind of the question here, and I want to say that this is interesting because the summer drop represents the 4th quarter of having a drop every 3 months, and so the equivalent of the last 4 drops after the summer drop comes out should be the equivalent of 1 full Minecraft update, so there are kind of high expectations, but we still have no idea how this update is going to develop. I'm excited for it, but the only hint we have so far is multiplayer and that it's releasing in June. Except actually, you know, even then, June is a big month, and you could argue we already knew that, and also the multiplayer part of this update might be deeper in the experimental because one of the 2 features might not come as part of the update to begin with, which means that this could be the smallest drop yet with just these 2 or even just this 1 feature and then vibrant visuals for Bedrock. Is that where the update's going to go? Well, we won't know until at least next week, but it's going to be a very interesting drop cycle to follow because is it intended to be a bigger one than the spring drop, or was the spring drop the big one of the first half of the year? I think if it's the second thing, then there would definitely be some wider issues, but for now, let's just keep our eyes to the ground, or our ears to the ground and our eyes to the sky. And for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. The tutorial that I'll be uploading this week will be about custom emojis. Lots of people have been asking, we finally put it together, and otherwise, it's a very positive time to be on the Toycat channel because the Super Flat Survival is still going strong. At time of recording, it is the most exciting series we've done in a while. Come and join it. It will probably be live as you watch this video. If you've never seen my live streams before, come join. It's a good time, and what better time than me finally getting access to a solid source of wood, or maybe me dying forever because it's hardcore. Let's find out which of those 2 things happens. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you next time. And just in case you're curious as to how we do a video and a live stream at the same time. A lot of people do always ask that. What happens is I record these videos and then I go to eat dinner, and then at about 7 p.m. I start streaming while the video is being edited by, in this case, Harrison. And so while Harrison is editing the video, it probably finishes while I'm still streaming if I don't die in hardcore, and then we can upload it at the same time that I'm streaming because it's all done. And that is how it works. And weirdly, you'd figure it'd be like 2 things at the same time would be bad, but it causes a lot of video viewers to realize that we're live because it shows on my channel profile right now, the little red live button. So if you wanted to find the live stream, that's how. And apparently it's a good form to stream and upload a video at the same time, as weird as that seems. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe, bye.